10 soul legends who gave us music that still plays at every cookout, every slow dance, every late night drive home. You've sung along to their songs 1,000 times. But there's something most people never talk about. Behind those voices was a fight for survival. A battle with addiction that nearly silenced them forever. Some won, some didn't. And the stories behind that struggle? They'll change the way you hear every note. Let's start at number 10. Number 10, A.L. Green. You know the voice. That silky, high tenor that floated over Let's Stay Together like it was weightless. By 1972, Al Green was untouchable. 4 gold singles in 3 years. Willie Mitchell behind the boards, cooking up that Memphis soul that nobody else could replicate. But here's what people don't talk about. When Al's father kicked him out of the house at 16 for listening to Jackie Wilson records, he didn't just leave home. He left everything he knew. And somewhere between chasing that dream and finding it, cocaine became part of the picture.
Maybe someday you'll come on back home to me.
By the mid-70s, Al Green had money, fame, women, and a habit he couldn't shake. The parties, the late nights, the white powder that promised to keep the energy going when the body said stop.
You're everything to me, baby.
Then 1974 happened. Now, his girlfriend Mary Woodson threw boiling grits on him while he was in the bath, then took her own life. Al spent months in the hospital, his skin grafted, his spirit broken. And that's when something shifted. He didn't just get clean. He walked away from secular music entirely. Became the Reverend Al Green. Founded Full Gospel Tabernacle in Memphis. Traded the charts for the church. If you've ever wondered why one of the greatest voices in soul history just vanished from the radio for almost a decade, that's why. He chose salvation over stardom, and he never looked back.
He didn't go for that, no.
Number 9, Wilson Pickett. They called him the Wicked Pickett. And if you've ever heard him tear into In the Midnight Hour or Mustang Sally, you understand why. That voice didn't just sing. It demanded. It commanded. It burned. By 1965, Wilson Pickett was defining what Southern soul sounded like. Recording at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Stacking hits like he'd never run out. Land of 1,000 dances. Funky Broadway, the man could not miss. But here's the thing about fire. It burns in both directions. By the 80s, Pickett's career had cooled, and his addictions had not. Alcohol first, then cocaine on top of it. The combination turned a man known for intensity into someone known for volatility. He alienated producers, bandmates, even the people who wanted to help him. And if you've ever watched something you built with talent and sweat start to crumble because of choices you can't stop making, you know that's a different kind of heartbreak. In 1991, he drove his car across the mayor's lawn in Englewood, New Jersey, drunk, screaming threats. In 1993, he struck an 86-year-old pedestrian while driving under the influence. She died later that year. Wilson Pickett never fully recovered. Not his career, not his health, not his reputation. He died in 2006 at 64, the victim of a heart attack. But listen to In the Midnight Hour today, and you still hear it. That fire, that hunger, that voice that refused to be ignored. The tragedy isn't just what addiction took from him, it's what it kept him from giving us. Let's look at the numbers. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. Honestly, that's tough to see. Our team spends days hunting down archives and verifying every single fact just to tell these stories right. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly part of the community, so please hit subscribe. It costs nothing and helps us immensely. Now, for those already subscribed, very few of you have made the jump to our membership, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you're the ones who know our value best. If this channel has moved you or inspired you, consider joining. It's the price of one coffee, but it's the literal fuel for this channel. Let's keep this alive together. Back to the story. Number 8. David Ruffin.
It's not that I don't love.
When David Ruffin sang lead on My Girl in 1965, something happened.
And a dread that shakes.
That voice, gritty and aching and somehow still smooth, became the sound of the Temptations at their peak. Ain't too proud to beg. I wish it would rain. Every note felt like he was singing directly to you, but by 1967, the cracks were already showing. Cocaine had entered the picture, and David started missing rehearsals, missing shows, demanding his name go first, the way Diana Ross got with the Supremes. The Temptations fired him in 1968, and that's where the real descent began. His solo career showed flashes. My Whole World Ended hit the top 10, but addiction kept pulling him back down.
Within me, every time you touch my hand.
By 1988, he was arrested in Detroit for crack cocaine possession, penniless, living in a friend's mobile home. Then came 1989, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. A reunion tour with Eddie Kendricks and Dennis Edwards that grossed nearly $300,000. David Ruffin was finally climbing back. But on May 31st, 1991, David climbed into a limousine in Philadelphia. He ended up at a crack house on 52nd Street. Split 10 vials of cocaine with another man.
You know how much I do.
Hours later, a driver dropped his unconscious body at the emergency room. David Ruffin was pronounced dead at 3:55 a.m.
I'm gonna walk away from love.
He was 50 years old. When they found him, he had $53 in his pocket. His family believes he'd been carrying $40,000 earlier that night.
Out the door.
But that's not what hurts the most. What hurts is knowing that voice, that incredible voice, had one more comeback left in it. And it never got the chance.
Oh, baby.
Number 7. Natalie Cole. Being Nat King Cole's daughter meant growing up in the spotlight before you ever chose it. The pressure to measure up. The expectations that came with a name like that. And when her father died of lung cancer in 1965, Natalie was just 15 years old. She channeled that grief into music. By 1975, This Will Be won her a Grammy for Best New Artist. She ended Aretha Franklin's 8-year winning streak. The industry had a new queen, but Natalie had a secret. Heroin had already found her in college. She'd quit cold turkey before her debut album dropped, nearly dying multiple times in the process. And she thought she was done. She wasn't. A couple years later, cocaine entered at parties, and then it stayed. For the next several years, Natalie Cole's life fell apart piece by piece. Missed shows, car accidents. Her young son nearly drowned in their backyard pool because she was inside getting high. You brought a lot of sunshine into my life. In 1981, trapped in a Las Vegas hotel during a fire, the smoke filling her room, Natalie clutched her cocaine pipe. She later admitted she almost put it to her lips before firefighters burst in and saved her. Even that didn't stop her. Not until 1983 when her attorney, her manager, and her business manager showed up at her door in dark suits. They looked her in the eyes and said, "We know you're going to die."
This will be an everlasting love. This will be.
6 months in a Minnesota rehab changed everything. She learned that addiction wasn't a moral failing, it was a disease. And for the next 30 years, Natalie Cole stayed clean. In 1991, she released Unforgettable with Love, a virtual duet with her late father, 7 times platinum, Album of the Year at the Grammys, the comeback nobody thought possible. She died in 2015 from complications related to hepatitis C, a disease she'd contracted from intravenous drug use decades earlier. But she died sober. She died triumphant. And that part of the story matters. Number 6, Bobby Womack. Sam Cooke discovered the Womack brothers in the mid-50s. He became Bobby's mentor, his guide, the man who showed him what a career in music could look like. And when Sam died in 1964, Bobby was devastated. 3 months later, he married Sam Cooke's widow. The backlash was brutal, but Bobby Womack didn't know how to slow down. By the early 70s, he was writing hits for everyone. It's All Over Now became the Rolling Stones' first #1 in the UK. He played guitar on Sly Stone's There's a Riot Going On. He was the session musician everyone wanted. But Bobby and Sly weren't just making music together, they were using together. I was really off into the drugs, Womack told Rolling Stone in 1984. Blowing as much coke as I could blow, and drinking, and smoking weed and taking pills. Doing that all day, staying up 7, 8 days. Then 1978 happened. Bobby's infant son, Truth, named by Sly Stone himself, was found wedged between the wall and the bed. He'd suffocated. He was 4 months old. Bobby blamed himself, and instead of healing, he went deeper into cocaine. It took until the late 80s before he finally entered rehab. And when he came out, he didn't just survive, he thrived. If You Think You're Lonely Now became a classic. The Poet albums earned critical acclaim. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. Bobby Womack died in 2014 at 70, clean for more than 2 decades. His last words to interviewers were always the same. Getting away from drugs gave him his life back. Number 5. Rick found unconscious on a friend's floor. Hospitalized, nearly dead. And it still didn't stop him. By 1991, the music had dried up. Warner Brothers dropped him. And then the arrests started. He and his girlfriend were accused of holding a woman captive, forcing her to smoke cocaine, torturing her. A second assault followed while he was out on bail. Rick James spent 2 years in Folsom State Prison, lost millions in civil suits, watched his empire crumble from behind bars. When he got out in 1996, he claimed he was clean. Said prison had straightened him out. But the damage was done to his body, to his career, to his name.
That girl is pretty wild now. I really like it.
Then came 2004. Dave Chappelle put him back in the spotlight with Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories. Rick James laughing at his own demons, uttering the phrase that would outlive him. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. He died that August at 56. The coroner found 9 different drugs in his system, including cocaine and methamphetamine. Rick James never beat his addiction. But that music, that sound he created, It's still being sampled today. MC. Hammer built You Can't Touch This on Super Freak. And somewhere right now that bass line is still playing at somebody's party.
Super freak, she's super freaking, yeah.
Number 4. Sly Stone.
Being the kind of person you really are now.
If you want to understand what happened to 60s optimism, listen to the difference between Sly and the Family Stone's Everyday People and their album There's a Riot Going On.
Month ago, I am there, you know, won't be to stay.
The first is Sunshine, the second is Shadows, and both of them are Sly. In 1969, Sly Stone stood at Woodstock and told 500,000 people he wanted to take them higher.
Together with the backbone, because the promise I'll be gone for a while.
He had the first major band that was integrated, male and female, black and white. He was inventing psychedelic soul in real time. But the cocaine started early, and it never stopped. By the mid-70s, Sly was showing up late to shows, or not showing up at all. The band splintered. The hits stopped coming. His manager, David Kapralik, told People magazine that cocaine split him down the middle, separating the shy poet Sylvester Stewart from the larger-than-life character he'd invented.
The day to be available for you to see.
Then came the freebasing, the PCP binges, the crack that took over everything. Sly Stone spent the next 4 decades as a cautionary tale, occasionally surfacing for brief, strange appearances before vanishing again. In 2011, the New York Post reported he was homeless, living in a van in Los Angeles. His ex-wife said it plainly. Sly never grew out of drugs. He lost his backbone and destroyed his future. But here's where the story takes a turn nobody expected. In 2019, at 76 years old, Sly Stone finally got clean. After doctors gave him what he called 4 final warnings. I just decided, he told interviewers. From the way I was feeling, I took it serious this time. He published a memoir in 2023. And even at 80, with lungs that struggled and a voice that had faded, he said the music was still in his head. Still waiting. Sly Stone died in 2025. But he died sober. After 50 years of addiction, he finally won. Number 3. Etta James.
For you are mine.
That voice. Deep. Earthy. Capable of tearing your heart out and putting it back together in the same breath. When Etta James recorded At Last in 1960, she wasn't just singing a love song. She was defining what vulnerability in R&B could sound like. But the industry wasn't kind to women like Etta in the 60s. And the coping mechanism she found? Heroin. By 1966, she was writing bad checks to finance her habit, forging prescriptions, stealing from friends. Her record company was furious because she kept showing up to sessions high or drunk or both. Her first time in rehab, she contracted tetanus from an infected needle. Spent days partially paralyzed, only able to communicate with her eyes. The doctors slapped her to keep her conscious, and still she kept using. Her husband, Artis Mills, took the fall when they were both arrested for heroin possession in San Antonio in 1972. He served 8 years so she could stay out of prison. It wasn't until 1974 that something finally shifted. Etta entered the Tarzana Psychiatric Hospital and stayed for 17 months. The longest, hardest stretch of her life. And when she walked out, she'd finally beaten heroin. But cocaine found her in the 80s when she was touring with the Rolling Stones. A 1988 stay at the Betty Ford Clinic finally set her on a permanent course. By the time At Last resurged in a Jaguar commercial in the 90s, Etta James was clean. When Beyoncé sang her song at Obama's inauguration, Etta was sober. She won Grammys in 2004 and 2005. Etta James died in 2012 at 73. Not from overdose, from leukemia. She'd survived everything addiction threw at her, and the music survived too.
They're over.
Number 2. Ray Charles. They called him the genius. And when you hear Georgia on My Mind, or What I Say, or Hit the Road Jack, you understand why. Ray Charles didn't just blend gospel with blues. He invented soul music. He changed what American music could be. But Ray Charles had been carrying weight since childhood. He watched his younger brother drown when he was 5, lost his sight completely by 7. His mother died when he was 15, leaving him orphaned. Heroin found him at 18 in 1948, and for the next 17 years it never let go. Here's what made Ray Charles different from most addicts. He was functional. Wildly, impossibly functional. He toured constantly, recorded constantly, built an empire while using every single day. I dug dope, he later admitted. The jazz musicians he idolized, Charlie Parker, to Billie Holiday they all used. It seemed like part of the culture, part of being hip. But the arrests caught up with him. 1958 in Philadelphia, 1961 in Indianapolis, and finally 1964 in Boston. The third bust was the one that mattered. He was facing prison time.
Still in the peaceful dream.
The court gave him a choice, treatment or incarceration. Ray Charles chose treatment. He entered a Los Angeles clinic in 1965 and stayed until he broke free.
And the song.
17 years of heroin ended in a few brutal months of detox. His first album after getting clean was called Crying Time. He released Let's Go Get Stoned with a knowing wink. He never touched heroin again. Ray Charles died in 2004 at 73. Liver failure connected to hepatitis C he'd contracted during his using years. But he'd been sober for almost 4 decades. The genius had beaten the demon that consumed so many others. Number 1. James Brown. The godfather of soul. The hardest working man in show business. The man who gave us I Got You, I Feel Good. Papa's got a brand new bag. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. James Brown didn't just influence funk and hip-hop and R&B. He defined what soul performance could look like. Those splits, those spins, the cape routine. Nobody moved like James Brown. Nobody commanded a stage like James Brown. But behind the sweat and the screams was a man fighting demons most people never saw.
So good, so good, so good, so good, I got you.
PCP became his drug of choice in the 80s. Angel dust. A dissociative that could make you feel invincible and disconnected from reality at the same time. The arrests started piling up. 1988 saw him lead police on a high-speed chase across 2 states, high on PCP, after confronting people in his office with a shotgun. He served 2 years in a South Carolina prison. When he got out, he claimed he was clean, and sometimes he was. But the relapses kept coming. The erratic behavior, the domestic incidents, the mugshots that reminded the world that even the godfather of soul couldn't always control what was happening in his own body. James Brown died on Christmas Day, 2006, at 73. Congestive heart failure.
So good, so good.
But the circumstances around his death remained murky for years. Friends claimed he wasn't the same in those final months.
So good, so good, so good.
Some wondered if addiction had played a role nobody wanted to name. What we know for certain is this: James Brown gave more to American music than almost any single performer. He influenced Prince, Michael Jackson, every rapper who ever sampled a break. He changed what black excellence could look like on a stage. And he fought a battle with addiction that lasted decades. Some days he won, some days he didn't. But he kept getting back up. He kept performing. He kept working harder than anyone else in the building. That's the godfather of soul. That's number one.